Well, I mean, it's always important to have depth because when you play this game, it's a violent game, and just like I said earlier, you're always one player away from being a starter, and you want to make sure that you have depth at your position, and not only depth, but you want to make sure that these guys are prepared because it's one thing to have depth, but if your guys are not prepared, then it means nothing. So, we just try to do a good job in our room, making sure that we're prepared. So when our number is called, that we're able to go out there and play at a high level, and it's not a drop off. Well, I mean, I just really this summer I really just spent some time just reflecting on ways I can be better, ways I can help my guys be better. And that was going out, talking to other running back coaches, seeing how they do drills, see how they ran their meetings, how they handle their rotation. That's what I did. I think that's what you have to do as a coach is you have to go out and seek advice from other people that have done it a long time. And for me, I got some great NFL coaches that I was able to play up under that was very helpful, giving me some insight of how to handle certain situations and giving me drills that I think would be beneficial because when it comes to drills, it's just you want to see your drills translate over to the game field. So I don't want to just be out there just doing backyard drills just to look good on Instagram. I want stuff that's going to translate over to the game field. So I was able to do that and then really just continue to just be who I am. That's the only way that I know I can be successful is being who I am and not trying to be someone else. But at the same time, taking advice from other veteran coaches that's been in this business a long time.
Back onto that depth, you said earlier, the depth was kind of forced on you last year due to injuries. Those guys brought them picks in. Now you got the luxury of having all three of those guys coached up. Now you can be able to manage their snaps better.
Yeah, that's what we're just talking about. Is just I do a great job. I have a rep chart, I guess you can call it. And I track all their reps that they do each day, so I kind of know how many reps each guy gets each practice. And if I feel like one guy is getting more than the other, I know how to tailor that. So I think that's the biggest thing that's been very helpful. And that's kind of something that I done last year, so I can be able to manage their load because especially once we get through the fall camp and get to the season, you want those guys to be as fresh as possible come Saturday. So I just try to do a good job of just managing them, and then at the same time I let them know that hey, when it's time to go, it's time to go. And then hey, if I decide to hey, you're not going to take a big load today, that doesn't mean that you're getting an off day. It just means you're not going to take as many reps, but you still need to be in tune, mentally. And then when it is your time to go, you need to rock and roll. And that's just something that I learned from my running back coach, Tyrone Wheatley. He done that when I was in Buffalo. It was some days that I had a big load, and then there was some days that he tailored back, and then he talked to me about, hey, it's not an off day. It's still, you're getting your mental reps. I'm going to still put you in there. But then when it's time to go, I need you to go. So that's just one of those things I kind of just took from him and kind of just put in our room.
You guys went through two-back sets.
Mm-hmm.
Was that something you guys had to break out and just learn it, put in there? Was it something you guys already had to fight back earlier in the year?
Nah, I think it's something that was already in our offense, before I even got here, and then, we always practice, that stuff because now, like you say, you got, 3 great guys in there, so you want to try to find a way to utilize them and take advantage of them. And, we had been, practicing that stuff, and then we just felt like that particular game was the right time to pull it out and showcase it. And, those guys did a great job of executing.
CJ, what kind of head coach do you think Tony Elliott will be? Just having worked with them.
I couldn't hear you.
What kind of head coach do you think Tony Elliott will be?
What type of head coach I think Coach Elliott is going to be? I think he's going to do a great job. I mean, just his personality, then just the type of man that he is. He fits that Virginia mold perfectly. And I'm pretty sure all those kids that bought into what he's saying. So I'm excited to watch from afar. How his team goes out and play. But I think he's going to do a great job up there of leading them. He does a great job of getting his message across, very crystal clear. And then the thing with Coach Elliott, you know where you stand with him. There's no guessing. So I'm excited for him. I think he's going to have it's a great opportunity for him. I think he's poised to have a great year.
How much is your experience from your playing days when you had Reggie, you, and James on the same team, trying to use 3 backs at the same time and get them all enough touches?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely take you back to those. It definitely take me back to those days. And then I just try to, just talk to those guys about just taking advantage of the opportunity. We know, we're different than the receiver. they can run 2 or 3 guys out there where we can only run one. And then the biggest thing that I talk to them about, honestly, is just the jealousy. You know, that's one thing that me, James, and Reggie, we did not allow creep up in our room, because if jealousy creep into our room, then it's going to be a long year. It's going to be a frustrating year for everybody. So they just got to have a great appreciation for each and every person's role in their play, and then just understand that everybody brings something totally different, you know, to the table. You know, and I think that's where, you know, me, James, and Reggie did a great job of understanding how our playing style was totally different than each other. And we always rooted for each other. It didn't matter who got the credit. If one scored, we felt like everybody scored, because that's how it should be. So, you know, those guys, they understand that. And, I mean, you got, you know, Shipley and Marfa, they roommates. So, I mean, if you see one, you're pretty sure the other one's going to be somewhere very close, just because of the bond that they got. And then the same thing with Kobe. I mean, those guys, they follow his lead. He's the OG, I guess you can say, in the room. So they follow his lead, and he's doing a great job of communicating and being vocal and taking that, you know, that bull by the horns and running with it. And so I'm excited to see how they continue to grow as a group, and kind of sit back and watch their chemistry.
Hey CJ, when you are out there competing these days, how much of the talk from families, from family members, from players is about NIL and what's going to happen?
It's not about that. It's about, I used to watch you play when I was in high. I used to watch you play, you know. So it's really not a ton of talk about NIL stuff, honestly. It's really just about these kids want to know, you know, how can you help them? You know, how will they fit into your system? You know, what type of person are you? What type of coach are you? You know, and stuff like that. So to me, I know I didn't get any NIL questions when I was out there. It was just more about me just trying to promote, you know, who I was as a person, because everybody knew who I was as a player, you know, and it just gave me an opportunity to really sit down and really explain who I was as a person, you know, because everybody don't know that, you know, they just only does see, you know, what they seen on Saturdays on the game field. So that's kind of how I went about the spring. Yep. Well, I mean, really the biggest way to help with that is just getting on the jug machine, and that's kind of what was my advice for him is, hey, man, well, really all of my guys in there, they need to be on the jug machine every day, honestly, catching at least 20 to 30 balls. And, you know, that's something that, you know, that I got from the legendary Ward Dunn that helped me with my catching ability. And so it's something that I'm just trying to pass along to my guys. And then really the biggest thing when guys really drop balls, it has a lot to do with them taking their eyes off the ball and looking upfield first, and really just try to tell them to just, you know, catch the ball, see it all the way through, and then just go from there. So I don't have any worries about, you know, Shipley catching the ability. I think he can catch the ball very well, and I think you just continue to build on it. Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean all my running back coaches that I ever had the encounter with that had some type of influence, and I took something away. You know, Coach Burns, you know, he was a coach that, you know, he always had his guys back. You know, he didn't allow, I guess you can say, other coaches to try to run his room. You know, so that's something that, you know, that I took from him, and, you know, and the thing that he always showed us that he cared. You know, and that showed through the way that, you know, we had conversations in our room, and it wasn't always about football. You know, a lot of conversation was about life. And, yeah, so and that's what I liked about him. You know, and he is who he is. You know, you didn't have to guess what type of player, coach or person Coach Burns was. You knew where you stood with him, and, you know, so he knew how to, you know, get the best out of us, and, you know, and then at the same time we trusted him because he had done it for a long time, and then he knew how to rally us, to get us to go out and play hard.
All right, thank you, CJ. Coach Streeter
All right.
will be coming to the middle station.